up, boys and girls? How are you guys doing today? I hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out with me for just a little while. I hope everybody is doing great, as always, smelling good, looking good, striving and thriving. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're all doing fantastic. Guys, before we get started, hit that like and subscribe button. And today we are talking about one of my personal favorite movies. It's so bad that it's good. From 1994, directed by Stephen E. Souza, Street Fighter, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and the late, great Raul Julia. Man, this is a fantastic film, guys. I'm going to give you a little anecdote, a little story about why Street Fighter is so, I guess, so beloved by me. Now, it may be beloved by some other people. I know some people that are like, dude, it's one of my favorite movies. My late brother and I, we used to quote this movie back and forth to each other all the time. Like, we'd be walking through the halls at school, and I would say something, and he would quote it back in a Jean-Claude Van Damme accent. Like, it truly is just one of those incredibly quotable films, and it has an interesting story of its production. I wish they'd make a documentary like they did with RoboCop and, other classic franchises where they do kind of a deep dive into the making of and stuff like that. I want to see a making of documentary for Street Fighter because from what I understand, it was one substance-fueled ride with a poor, decrepit, dying Raul Julia. And I'm going to be honest with you, Raul Julia, he steals that show. He's the best part of the entire freaking movie. But yeah, let me tell you guys about why I love Street Fighter. So, 1994, I'm 11 years old, and, we used to have this thing here in the United States for all you foreign watchers, for all people in different countries watching this. We used to have a thing here in the United States called Prime Star, which eventually got bought out by DirecTV, and now DirecTV, anyway, that's how it goes. So we used to have this thing called Prime Star, and it had pay-per-view channels. You could, sports, UFC, boxing, but they also had movies and stuff like that on there. Well, the year that Street Fighter came out, I didn't get to go see it in the theater. Times was tough. We didn't have theater coin. So what happened was we had the Prime Star, and for the pay-per-view channels, when it was a movie, they would always show you like 5 or 10 minutes of the film, and then it's like, well, that's all you get. Now you got to buy it if you want to finish it. So Street Fighter was on that pay-per-view, on those pay-per-view channels, and I watched the opening to Street Fighter I probably watched it 25 times until finally my mother told my grandfather, she's like, just let him rent it for goodness sakes, because he's just going to keep watching this 1 5-minute clip of the beginning over and over. So I finally got to watch it. And back then, when you'd buy a pay-per-view movie, it was like a block. There's like a 24-hour block or an 8-hour block or whatever. So you would rent it, you would buy it on pay-per-view, and you'd have a block of it for X amount of hours or whatever. And dude, I watched it probably 15 times before my little block was up. And so that's how Street Fighter became one of my favorite movies ever. Like, I love it. But I understand that it is a bad movie. It's not good by any means. It is not a good film. It's not quality made. It's got too many characters with not enough character development. But I will say this. It captures the essence of the video games. Yeah, there's no Street Fighter tournament, but it captures the conflict between Guile and Bison. Now, the other characters, there's no real story between them, but let's face it, Bison and Guile, in the animated series, in the animated, movie, Guile and Bison have a tiff, right? They have a rift between them. They are mortal enemies. And then Ryu and Ken, they have their kind of brotherly rivalry and things like that. But in this, they focus on Guile and Bison. Cool. I get that because that's how the animated film went. And I don't really know, there were no Street Fighter comics at the time, I don't guess. But basically the gist of it was captured correctly, in my opinion. Because if you play the games, Street Fighter came out in the late 80s, early 90s. Street Fighter 2 was one of the most popular arcade cabinets beside, Mortal Kombat and like Golden Axe or Ninja Turtles or something, right? I mean, so Street Fighter, when you play it and you beat the game with a certain character, you get a little story snippet, some artwork, and it says, well, Guile defeats Bison and finds his best friend, blah, blah, blah. So they tried to tie in those story elements of the characters kind of into the film, and I thought they did a good job with what they had, right? There's no, it's no tournament, but there's a lot of video game, like for instance, the last Mortal Kombat movie. There's supposed to be a tournament in these fighting game adaptations, but there's never a tournament, right? So we don't get a tournament, but we get all of our characters. We don't get our special effects, right? We don't get a Hadouken, but we get him doing that, but then we get like a flash. There's no actual fireball, right? We get Ken doing the uppercut, but his hand doesn't catch on fire. We get Wes Studi as Sagat, which to me is that was the worst casting ever. Sagat is a giant Thai, if you've ever played Street Fighter, you know what Sagat looks like with his eye patch and his scar on his chest. I mean, Sagat's a bad, bad dude. And Wes Studi, he ain't no Sagat, right? But the casting was pretty much on point. Now, let's get to Raul Julia. Van Damme, I mean, he plays Guile, sure. He plays Guile pretty good. But Raul Julia as M. Bison was one of the best villain characters. I equate him to Frank Langella in Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. He stole that show with Skeletor, right? Raul Julia steals this as M. Bison. When he's talking to Ming Na Wen and she's like, you killed my father. And he's like, the day that Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. Like, oh, that's so cold-blooded. He delivers that so well. It's funny, but it's sinister. He's like goofy villain, but he's still just sinister, right? And I loved that. I loved Raul Julia's M. Bison. And like when he blows up Guile's boat, he's like, game over! Like that is just incredible. For his final performance of his life, thank you, Raul Julia. Thank you for giving us M. Bison that we could love. You know what I mean? Because I think he was the best part of the film. And then we have Blanca, which is Guile's best friend, Charlie, right? They explore that kinship in Street Fighter Alpha, the game, and stuff like that. So they make Blanca, they increase his muscle mass, he has the yellow hair. Does he look like the video game character? No, but he's the closest thing they could get to it at the time, and he looked good for it. I mean, we have all of our characters of the game in this film. And yeah, not all of them have a whole lot of screen time. I mean, Balrog's a cameraman and E. Honda's like a news van operator. The characters are off, but they do refer to them as like, oh, well, M. Bison's people made it where Balrog can't box, which Balrog's supposed to be a villain, but whatever. E. Honda, oh, well, shadaloo came in and messed up my sumo career, planted a bunch of false stuff. So, I mean, all of it ties together well. I think the story was super well made for a video game adaptation, even though we don't get a tournament. I like this movie. And like you guys, some people may love it. My brother and I loved it. I know some other friends that really like it. And some people will agree it is so bad that it's good, but it is so worth your time. Even if it's just for Jean-Claude Van Damme's accent and Raul Julia's amazing Oscar-worthy performance. It is one of the best video game adaptations you will see, guys. If you want to check it out, which I really, really hope you do, I hope you watch this review and I hope you jump on to Prime Video and you check it out and you say, thank you, Chris, for this cornball experience, but it was awesome. That's what I hope you guys do. So you can check it out on Prime if you want to, guys. But that's it on the way out, my friends. Hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, I am going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you, my friends, and I will see you soon.